You know that feeling, right? It's literally one of the most viscerally painful moments in parenting. You reach out for a hug and your kid just pushes you away, screaming for the other parent. Ouch. It feels intensely personal. It feels like a direct, intentional rejection. But hold on a second. What if I told you this behavior isn't about a lack of love at all? Today, in this explainer, we're decoding the psychology of the preferred parent. We're going to completely reframe that painful push away. Because guess what? It is not favoritism. It's actually a neurological safety protocol. So we really have to tackle the core question head on. Why does your child push you away? If it isn't about who they love more, what on earth is actually happening? Well, your child's nervous system is constantly, relentlessly scanning their environment for a very specific type of emotional frequency. They aren't just sitting there picking favorites. They're biologically seeking out a specific resonance. If one parent is just a few hertz off, boom, the child's brain triggers a safety protocol. And on the outside, yeah, it just looks like they're playing favorite. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to move from the sting of that rejection to a highly actionable, science-backed solution. We'll quickly hit the myth of preference, why being predictable beats just being present, the minimization barrier, predator versus partner positioning, the surprising independence trap, and finally, wrap up with the 60-second method to help you wire your way back in. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the preferred parent myth. We tell ourselves these stories, right? Like, oh, dad is just the fun one, or mom just spends way more time with him. But here's the reality check. Babies and toddlers entirely lack the cognitive capacity for loyalty or favoritism as we adults understand it. Instead, their brains are in this state of just extraordinary plasticity. I'm talking about forming over 1 million neural connections every single second, just trying to find emotional predictability. And that brings us to a crucial concept called the internal working model. When your child insists on one parent over the other, they're biologically selecting their secure base to survive what feels like a chaotic world to them. Their little brain has essentially run the calculations and figured out exactly which caregiver is the most predictable regulator for the specific internal storm they're dealing with in that exact moment. Let's keep moving. Section 2, predictable over present. Let's look at why just being in the room is neurologically insufficient for a dysregulated kid. I want you to imagine your child's nervous system has a dashboard with volume controls. For a little one, the world is pretty much always blasting at a volume 10. Every single sound, every bright light, every intense emotion, it's all at absolute max capacity. And the kicker? They literally do not have an off switch yet. Because they can't just turn the volume down themselves, they absolutely have to borrow your regulated nervous system to find their way back to calm. And this is where we run into a massive attunement gap. Listen, if you're physically present in the room, but mentally you're scrolling your phone or mentally running through your grocery list, you are neurologically unreachable to them. The real bond is built in what we call serve and return rhythms. This means when they make a little sound, you copy it right back. When they look up, you meet their eyes for 30 uninterrupted seconds. It's those tiny attuned connections that are the actual glue of your bond. I need a mirror right now, and you're a screen. I absolutely love this quote because it just perfectly captures the child's perspective. Think about it. If you're talking at your child instead of with them, their brain starts to view your presence as just audio clutter. They push you away because their highly stressed brain is essentially crying out, hey, I need a mirror right now to reflect my feelings, and you're acting like a screen. Moving on to section 3, the minimization barrier. Let's uncover how accidentally skipping over feelings is actively creating distance between you and your child. Okay, we have all done this. Your kid scrapes their knee and you immediately rush over and say something like, oh, you're fine. It's not a big deal. Look at the birdie, right? In our adult minds, we honestly think we're helping them build resilience. We want them to be tough. But to their rapidly developing brain, you just skipped a critical biological step. You totally minimized their reality. See, there is a massive difference between fixing a feeling and witnessing a feeling. You have to witness the mess before you can fix it. When you tell a child they're fine when they clearly do not feel fine, you're teaching them that their own internal experience is untrustworthy. Over time, they'll literally stop reaching for the parent who tells them to just keep swimming, and they will anchor hard to the parent who actually pulls them in and validates that pain. All right, section 4, predator versus partner. Let's look at the physical reasons your child might be rejecting you. Think about your physical posture when you get frustrated. Your heart rate is up, your muscles tense, and you tend to loom over them to demand compliance. To a small child, this predator posture instantly activates their amygdala. That's the brain's internal smoke alarm. Boom, their listening brain goes completely offline.
Conversely, the preferred parent often instinctively uses partner positioning. They crouch down. Getting low instinctively sends this incredibly powerful, nonverbal signal of absolute safety, which turns off that threat response immediately. This brings us to Section 5, the independence trap. And honestly, this is a narrative turn that shocks a lot of parents. It turns out the child who doesn't seem to prefer either parent might actually be the one we need to pay the most attention to. We naturally praise the easy baby, right? But if a child plays independently for hours and never checks in with you and exhibits extreme self-soothing, this actually reveals a deactivated attachment system. Biologically, babies are designed to be needy. They are literally wired to signal for help. If they're showing these silent signs of avoidant attachment, they've learned that their bids for connection are met with discomfort or distraction, so they just stop asking. That extreme independence, it's actually a silent cry for help. So how do we fix this? Let's dive into Section 6, the 60-second method. This is how you transition from the rejected parent back into their secure circle. It all comes down to a deliberate, calming 60-second method that signals unmistakable safety to their brain. I'm going to walk you through these 4 exact steps so you can start using this literally today. Step 1. Stop the logic. During a preference meltdown, when they're screaming for the other parent, you have to stop trying to explain why daddy is nice too. Their thinking brain is completely offline in that moment. They literally cannot hear your perfectly reasonable arguments. So save your breath and just shift your strategy. Step 2, get low and stay still. Remember that partner positioning we just talked about? Use it. Crouch down to their level. Offer them calm stillness without frantically trying to fix the rejection or stop the crying. You just want to be a steady, non-anxious presence in the room with them. Step 3, name the sensation, not the behavior. Instead of saying, hey, don't push me, try saying something like, your body feels really overwhelmed right now. By validating their internal storm instead of judging their external skid, you're building the neural bridge that helps them learn to eventually manage that intense emotion all by themselves. And finally, step 4, the bridge. Honestly, this might be the most powerful sentence in parenting. When they're really struggling to connect, simply say, I believe in you, we can figure this out together. This deliberate phrasing wires their internal voice for long-term resilience instead of immediate shame. To really bridge the gap here, you've got to make a foundational shift. You have to transition from exhausting yourself trying to be the fun parent and instead focus entirely on becoming the attuned parent. Building a true brain bond isn't about being perfect or super entertaining. It's about being the person who stays predictably steady, even when your kid's world feels like it's completely falling apart. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a question to reflect on. Which parent is your child's secure base right now? And more importantly, what is one small shift you can make today? Maybe it's just getting low or witnessing the feeling before jumping in to fix it, to become that neurological safe harbor your child is desperately looking for. Think about it, because the exact moment you stop taking the rejection personally is the moment you can start building the deep connection they truly need.